Guys, we've got to truly understand there's no such thing in this country as white privilege. As a matter of fact, there's black privilege, but not white privilege. Again, we don't like to hold black people accountable for crimes. We don't. Again, like in Chicago, you can steal, you can loot, you can, jump on cars, you can burn stuff down. And again, they don't like to hold you accountable. But again, we like to hold white people accountable for whatever they do.
Groups on the ground during the trends to try to get the kids to go home. The founder of Project Hood, he told me he was here.
Young people have to learn when you break laws, there are consequences. And I think sometimes we're a little too easy on individuals who consistently, continuously break the laws.
Like in the case of Jordan Neely, the young black man who got onto a train in New York City, threatening the lives of pastors on that train. And when a young white man came along and held him down, and unfortunately, Jordan Neely lost his life. But again, everyone wanted Daniel Penny, the young white man, to be charged with murder. We have truly got to recognize, man, again, they wanted this young white man who was trying to make sure that everyone on the train was safe. They wanted him charged with murder.
One of our own is dead. A black man, black like me.
Guys, a story that I wanted to bring you is out of Akron, Ohio. And a young white man last summer, he decided, I believe his name was Ethan Lyman, he decided he was going to do some TikTok challenge or whatever. And he was going to run up or drive up to these black guys who were playing basketball. He was going to shoot at them with some kind of fake toy water pellet gun or something. And I'm going to show you guys a clip of that gun so you guys can understand nobody could mistake that gun for any kind of real weapon. These black guys, they were playing basketball. They first thought they were under attack. And I get that. I do. So they started running off. And they quickly realized that it was not real. So they came back, they got the guy, and they beat the guy to death. And I'm going to show you, man, what happened to these three guys that did this.
The description of this toy, and it's targeted for ages 14 and up, is that you take these little beads, you soak them in water. This is my understanding of it. You soak it in water, and then you load this, what they describe as a toy gun, and it shoots these water beads at people or objects or whatever the target is. When it impacts the target, it, like a water balloon, it explodes, and then the person is doused with water.
Originally charged Deshaun Stafford, his brother Tyler, and their cousin Donovan Jones with murder. But in July, a grand jury indicted them on lesser charges. Lyman blames the Summit County Prosecutor's Office for that decision. He doesn't believe all of the facts were presented. Akron police said back in June, race was not a factor in the killing.
There is nothing that we have in our possession right now, any information at all, indicating that race played a role in this homicide.
You can tell by looking at the gun, it's not real. So they came back. They got a hold of the guy, and they didn't just beat him up. No, they stopped him to death. They stopped him to death. When the cops got there, he had blood coming out of his mouth, his nose, and his ears. Again, they stopped him to death. He had a shoe print on his chest. That's how hard they stopped him. A shoe print. So again, we truly get to understand what's going on here. Again, they're upset. They're upset because they were pranked. They were angry. That's what the issue is. They were angry. How dare the guy prank them? And again, the guy shouldn't have pranked them. But that's what the issue was. They were mad. And again, we can't kill people in this country because you're mad. It doesn't work that way. Again, that's called murder. When you kill somebody because you're angry with them for pranking you or doing whatever, again, you're murdering them. That is what you're doing. And again, we can cover that up with whatever, but that is what's happening. And again, they're not going after them with a murder charge. Why? I think we all know. They're oppressed. They're black. They're 3 young black men. So again, they're obviously oppressed. And again, that's the angle they're trying to go with this. Again, people, they don't like finding, young black men guilty of things, even if they're obviously guilty of something. Because it's just like with looting and the rioting and everything else that's going on in Chicago and DC and whatever. Again, they're not going after people. They're not pressing charges. They're not going after people the way they should be going after them. So again, we truly got to understand what's happening here. Again, in this country now, we have a 2-tiered justice system. We do. And again, you can say all you want about white privilege. But again, think about this. If this were Jordan Neely, what happened back a few months ago with him? Again, Jordan Neely got onto a subway, threatened people's lives on the train. And again, with somebody not beating him, just held him down. And he passed away. Again, they want this guy. They're rioting in the streets. They want him, Daniel Penny or whatever his name was. They wanted him to be charged with murder. And again, these 3 young black men stomped this young white guy to death. Stomped him to death. Beat him to, because again, they're angry. And not only did they beat him to death, but afterwards they stole his car. They stole the guy's car. But again, they're not going after these 3 guys with murder. Oh no. No, they're black. So again, we truly get to understand Jordan Neely. Again, they were upset about him, even though he got onto a train, threatened the lives of passengers on that train, threatened to kill people. And he was held down. Nobody beat him, but he was held down and he passed away. But again, this white young man didn't threaten anyone's lives. He was shooting at them, obviously, with a toy gun. They came back. They understood it was a toy gun because they came back and beat the guy to death. Blood coming out of his nose, mouth, and ears. And again, nothing. No protest, no nothing. Nothing's going to happen. So again, we truly get to understand, where is there really privilege in this country?
Detectives and the prosecutors described that prosecutors' meeting as being very contentious. Some of the prosecutors wanting felonious assault charges and murder charges, others basically wanting no charges at all, with one of the prosecutors saying that Ethan received hood justice, which was a new term to me. I was unfamiliar with that terminology, hood justice, and that, I guess, implying that Ethan got what he deserved.
How dare him, shoot at them with some kind of water pellet gun? How dare them? How dare this guy do that? So they're mad. So they come back, they beat the guy to death, they stop him to death, blood coming out of his nose, his mouth, his ears. Blood coming out everywhere. They beat the guy to death. But again, that's not murder. And the guy got hood justice? Give me a damn break. Again, Daniel Penny, again, he held down Jordan Neely a few months back on the subway. And again, they wanted to hold Daniel Penny accountable for murder. They want the guy charged with murder. But again, he was holding down someone who got on the train and threatened the lives of people on that train. But again, they want that guy charged with murder. But 3 young black men that beat a white man to death because again, a young white man to death because again, they're mad and they're angry. And then they steal his car afterwards. But again, we're not going to charge them with murder. Again, we truly got to recognize what's happening here. We truly got to recognize, and again, when you take murder off the table as a possible charge, and you say involuntary manslaughter, what are you really saying? What are you really telling the jury?
Breaking news, guilty of assault, not guilty of involuntary manslaughter. Both families in disbelief over the jury's decision, and it was a complicated one. Thanks for joining us first at 4. I'm Nicole Versansky. The verdict is in for those Akron brothers accused in the death of Ethan Liming.
I'm Brian Duffy. The jury handed down their decision just about an hour ago. 19's
Harry Boomer live at the courthouse now, continuing our coverage. Harry, so walk us through, again, this verdict, a complicated one. Walk us through exactly what the jury decided.
Well, the jury decided that these guys were guilty of some stuff and not guilty of other stuff. Deshaun Stafford and his brother Tyler found out today what the jury of their peers think about their role in the death of Ethan Liming. The jury came back with a unanimous decision after considering charges against the brothers of involuntary manslaughter and assault. Members of Ethan Liming's family were visibly shaken as Judge Tammy O'Brien read the verdicts. After the court adjourned, I spoke with Deshaun Stafford Sr. He was not completely satisfied with the verdicts.
This is a tragedy thing that happened. I wish it had never happened. Now I have to feel like my son's going to go away from me for a long time for something that it could have been avoided. I'm sorry it happened to the family. You know, I wish the best for us all to get over this and we be able to come to some kind of agreement that we can work this out as far as this. This didn't have to go this far. And I'm pretty hurt myself. I love my kids, and I just didn't want this to happen like this.
And we learned the jury made its decision on all but one count on Friday. When we went home over the weekend, came back today, they were unable to reach a decision today on the involuntary manslaughter, and that became a mistrial according to Judge O'Brien. The Liming family defense attorney played the race card by blaming media for making this a race issue. The jury was made up of 5 white men, 5 white women, 1 black female, and 1 black male. And again, it was a unanimous decision all the way across the board, even the mistrial verdict.
These young men that stopped a guy to death and stole his car afterwards, they're being charged with assault. Again, not even involuntary manslaughter, not murder, but assault. Like they got into a big fight. And again, they assaulted someone. They did assault someone up to the point of death. They stopped a young man to death. Stopped him to death because they were mad. And they got charged with assault. That's it. That's all they were charged with. I mean, again, imagine if they were 3 young white men and this was a young black man that was killed. Imagine. We truly got to see what's happening in this country now. We truly have got to understand there is no such thing, and I keep saying it, as white privilege. We have truly got to understand that. And again, I'm not saying what the young man did was right. I'm not saying that at all. But what I am saying is that, again, just because you play a prank on somebody does not mean they can come back and beat you to death. Stop you until blood comes out of your nose, mouth, and ears, and steal your car. And again, that's justified. That's okay. We're only going to give them assault. Yeah. We truly get to recognize what's happening in this country. Anyways, guys, if you would, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. Thanks. You son of a